Good morning, dear students. Welcome to continue parts of 5th standard. That is, in the previous class, we have discussed about the natural disaster. Yes. So we have just discussed about the what are the main natural disasters. Yes, and the natural disaster, they are caused by nature, and there are we don't have any control on these calamities. Yes, for example, earthquake is there, volcanic eruptions is there, cyclones, tsunamis, floods, and droughts. So these are all known as natural disaster. So in this class we are going to discuss about earthquake. Yes, so the earthquake, it is made up of enormous plates of rocks which float on a semi-liquid layer, and that is called as a mantle. Yes, so you can see here our earth, it has a some layers. So first layer, it is known as crust. Yes, and next one is mantle. Yes, and mantle, it has been divided into two parts, that is upper mantle and lower mantle. Yes, and last one is core, that is the core, it is also divided into two parts, that is outer core and inner core. Yes, and the mantle, it is just below the earth crust. Yes, the crust, it is the upper layer of the our earth. Yes, and the mantle, it is the second part of our earth. Yes, and the rocky plates, that is called as tectonic plates. Yes, so the rocky plates, it is also known as tectonic plates, that moves from extremely slowly. Yes, the tectonic plates, it moves very extremely, and some move apart, some collide, and some slide past each other. Yes, that means the movement of tectonic plates, it occurs to the earthquake. Yes, and two plates collide, sometimes one plate ends up being forced beneath the other. Yes, so you can see here the faulting of lines. Yes, so there are so many plates are there, so some plates are below and some plates are very above. Yes, and this can cause a huge tear in the earth surface, and this tear is called as fault. Yes, that means the changing of the layer. Yes, that means the changes in the plates. Yes, and there are many such fault lines on the earth surface. Yes, so you can see here. Yes, and these are most vulnerable to earthquakes. Yes, and that means the earthquake, it occurs and it destroy the property. Yes, for example, so many industries and so many surface of the earth, it will be destroyed. Yes, so the fault lines, that means the changes in the plates. Yes, and as the plate collide, a lot of energy it released, and which travels to the surface. Yes, the changes in the collide plates, it occurs to the, and it also travels towards the surface, and the earth then quakes, trembles, and vibrates. Yes, during the earthquake, the changes in the plates, it occurs the earthquake. Yes, that means, and the changes in the plates, that travels towards the surface of the earth. Yes, and that occurs the vibration on the surface of the area. Yes, and this released energy radiates outwards a series of seismic waves. Yes, the changes between the fault lines, it occurs the seismic waves. Yes, and the seismic waves weaken in strength as they travel further away. Yes, and the point of collision is called a hypocenter or the focus. Yes, so you can see the focus, that means the where the earthquake started or where the earthquake exhausted. Yes, and the point on the earth surface directly above the focus is called epicenter. That means the earthquake will uh, turn into the earthquake. Yes, and the greatest force of the earthquake is felt here. And next, an earthquake is often followed by more tremors called aftershocks. Yes, and the areas around the epicenter it suffers maximum damage, and buildings collapse, electric poles and trees are also collapse, and landslides are caused in hilly areas, that means falling the lands that occurs in hilly areas. Yes, and roads develop cracks, that means we can see the cracks in the road. Yes, and people and animals get trapped under the rubble. Yes, so people and so many animals, they will under the things, that is under the earth. And there have been instances where the rescue teams have found people buried alive under the debris even after several days. Yes, that means it collapsed the whole the things. Yes, and earthquakes that measure 6 or more on the Richter scale and cause maximum damage. Yes, so earth scale it can be measured by the Richter scale. Yes, and the as much the Richter scale is more, so the cause of the damage it's also maximum. Yes, so this is all about earthquake, and there are some precautions we have to follow these precautions during the earthquake. So you can see here. Yes, so the earthquake monitoring centers it regularly release alerts and precautions especially to people living in earthquake prone areas. Yes, and people must always follow the instructions. Yes, so the instruction that is given by the meteorological department, so the common people they should follow the all precautions that is given by the government. Yes, and houses in sensitive areas that is above the fault lines should be built using light materials. Yes, that means the where the earthquake prone area is there, so the houses that should be built by light materials. Yes, and buildings, bridges and flyovers and dams should be built using super strong materials and which can withstand the tremors of an earthquake. That means the material which are using the construction that should be very good. Yes, and in case of an earthquake, rule number 1 is not to panic. Yes, yes, and next if you are indoors, take shelter under a study table or bed, or wait for the shaking to stop. Yes, so in this picture you can see the people, sorry, the man, he is securing when the earthquake is there. Yes, and first of all dropping towards the table, beneath the table, and covering his body under the table. Yes, that is hold on, that is we should hold on the cot or what is the available thing, that is table. Yes, and we should outside when the earthquake is there, and we should stop the driving. Yes, and next one is white while at crowded places we should go outside. Yes, so these are some precautions that we should follow during the earthquake. Yes, and the next one is volcanoes. Yes, so the word volcanoes it comes from the vulcan. Yes, so it comes from the vulcan, the god of the fire in Roman mythology. So vulcan it is the name of god. Yes, and let us discuss about the volcanoes. Yes, so volcanoes, have you heard about this? Yes, no, okay, very good. So I will tell you more information about these volcanoes. Yes, so volcano it is a kind of mountain having a vent from which hot melted rock, sulfur gases, steam and ash comes out from the deep within the earth crust. Yes, that means so in our earth there are so many materials are there. For example, ash is there. Yes, and sulfur gases are there, and hot melted rocks are there. So these all things come out during these volcanoes. Yes, and when two rocky plates move apart, gap are created. Yes, so you can see here the volcanoes eruption is there, and when the two rocky plates move apart gaps, and that's created volcanoes. Yes, and a molten rock called magma. Yes, so in the earth there is a rock that is in the molten condition. Yes, that is in liquid form, because the temperature, yes, if you go to the inner side of the earth, the temperature it will be increase. So that's why that all things are in the magma means a liquid form, yes, and which is always at a very high temperature and always under a great pressure, and it makes its way out through these vents and flow down the mountain slopes as lava. Yes, when the magma it come outside, that is known as lava. Yes, and sometimes it violently throw out the pieces of rocks, gas and ash into the air above. Yes, so sometimes lava and also some different things, for example pieces of rocks and some gases and some ashes will also come outside during the volcanoes. Yes, and the tectonic plates slide over each other, and the intense heat produced by this friction forms fresh cracks inside the earth's crust, and the magma gashes out with a lot of force. Yes, so you can see here the magma that is in the molten condition rock. Yes, it will come outside. Yes, when it come outside, that is known as lava. Yes, so vent it is the root of this volcanoes. Yes, and the crater cone it is the mouth of the volcanoes, and you can see here the ash and some different gases also there. Yes, so this we called volcanoes eruption. Yes, so in the next class we are going to discuss about the next point, that is tsunami. Yes, so thank you for watching this video. In the next class we will discuss about the tsunami, floods and droughts. Okay, thank you.